Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're enjoying your day so far, and scrims are coming in thick and fast right now. Some very interesting developments been made over the last 24 hours or so. Smoke grenades, it seems, are now fully gone. We've talked about gentlemen's agreements a fair bit over the last couple of days. It seems like pros now want to get rid of them in their entirety, but also Seattle Surge seems to be playing without Gunless with a substitute instead of him. Of course, this could be for a number of different reasons. He may just not be available to play yesterday, but pretty interesting that if there is a substitute to come into the team, it's Gunless, the one that steps out for the time being. Certainly intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new. As always, I would greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much for doing that. Another thing that was noticed yesterday was this by Corona CDL Intel. So Gunjar was scrimming with Zed, Sensor and Dens. So well, we talked about the other day, potentially he could be with the Paris Legion. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case anymore though. So yeah, supposedly this was already kind of in the works before Crone released that article, and we talked about it a couple of days ago. But yeah, seems like that might be the case for now, which really does leave the question mark. What's going on with the Paris Legion? Could that be Waskin's potential destination? This was also then discussed yesterday. So we talked about the smoke grenades in yesterday's Gentleman's Agreement video. The fact that, you know, there's like not many smokes on the map. One is allowed in respawn. Apparently it has to be on the back of your main assault rifle. Two are allowed in search and destroy. Now in respawns, it seems like this just isn't the case, right? And if you guys are watching scrims last night, OpTic versus Florida, I think they had a pretty good result, like 6-2 map counts. I think they beat Toronto as well, and I think FaZe beat Florida like 6-2 or something like that. So obviously it's just scrims, it doesn't really matter, but given I heard these results, I thought I might as well keep you guys up to date with what is going on. But OpTic was scrimming without a smoke grenade, as were the other teams. And yeah, my Capox says like people are trying to GA smokes now, and some people are saying they should be GA'd, some people are saying they are not. The scene is pretty split on these, but honestly it seems to be part of a more general trends. The fact that every single year, more and more things get GA'd, and the pros get to the point where we're really playing a very bare bones game. It's always the joke, right, that at some point we're just going to be playing with knives and tomahawks when yeah, all the weapons get GA'd and that kind of stuff. But it seems like smokes are now completely out of the game. Not exactly sure if this is fair. Maybe this is one step too far, or maybe they just are a little bit too strong in this game. You could certainly argue either way, I suppose. So no smoke grenades the entire set for Chicago versus Florida scrims. And Josh says a pretty interesting thing, the fact that, look, you also now see 8 assault rifles on the map, and if there's no smokes, what are your SMGs meant to do, right? You just post them in a hill, wait for the guys to run in the front door, and yeah, what are you going to do against that if you're an SMG, if there's no smoke grenades to actually try and break these hardpoints? I get that it can be a little bit chaotic. There's certainly middle grounds between how many smokes you could allow and how many, 4 smokes on the map on either team would be absolute chaos. There's no doubt. One is probably okay, but well, it seems like maybe that's not the case. And as Virid says, I've been enjoying running a sub more without than with, so maybe that's not fully the case, that smoke grenades actually make it easier for some machine guns. Maybe it does make things a little bit more chaotic, which maybe isn't quite as fun to play for an SMG. So I'll just share a quick clip here that came up from Slacked, where he uses a smoke grenade by accident and takes it off, just to kind of confirm that this is indeed what is going on.
Nade your front shot. Front weak to nade. On the heady.
Top their cat dead.
Cole, you can go. Go, Cole.
Yo, one's new. He's just playing new.
Get across the vent, make him back up for you. Wait, is that a smoke?
Middle tank finessing.
I crossed.
What's a smoke? Behind me.
Do I have a smoke on? Oh, I do, my bad.
He's going far right old.
Okay, one more vent room.
Hardpoint is secure.
Wrong class.
So then Octane comes out with the following: no smoke respawn gameplay got me feeling dangerous. Certainly makes sense, right? One of the most talented assault rifle players in the game, one of the best pure aim gun skill type players that we've ever had in Call of Duty history, comes out and says, look, if there's no smokes on the map, if I don't have to worry about some SMG player like Dylan Cod running through a smoke at me, it's just easy beams for me all day, every day with the Krig in hand. So of course it makes perfect sense. This leads on quite nicely then to this discussion about the Seattle Surge that came out yesterday. So Intel spotted they were scrimming against the LA Thieves. LA Thieves had a pretty difficult time. I think there were certainly some arguments going on over there, and I do wonder how long it will be until we get a confirmation that, well, Tempe is going to be their 4th on this roster, because it certainly does seem like that is going to be the case. But this was the team that they were running with. Of course, Nubsy, Seattle Surge's coach. You've got Octane, you've got Pristini, you've got Looney, and then you've got this account called Seattle Sub. I doubt that they would just be scrimming with Gunless on this new account name for no reason at all, because, it's going to bring up questions. People are going to be asking questions, as I am, and as I'm sure you guys are in the comment section below. What exactly is going on here? Why have they decided to make this decision to, well, take Gunless out of the team for the time being? And maybe it's for other reasons, right? It's certainly possible that Gunless, he wasn't available on this day. Something else was going on. He just had to step off for scrims or something. They decided to bring in another account, but at the same time, the fact that they have an account ready to go called Seattle Sub kind of feels like it's an intentional thing to kind of hide the identity of players they might be trying out for their substitute spot. Doesn't mean to me by any means that Gunless Gunless isn't going to be in the starting team when the season starts. I believe he will be, but it's certainly interesting to see that if there's one player that has decided to step out of the team, or Nubsy and the rest of the guys have decided has to step out of the team for them to try out a substitute, it's going to be Gunless, right? Because that's always been the question when this team was first formed. How long could this team last with Gunless in the squad? I imagine a lot longer than a couple of weeks, but yeah, certainly still interesting to see regardless. So who could this potentially be? Nubsy, of course, was known on this Seattle team last season to actually make a mid-series substitution when Panda came in for enabling that search and destroy. And well, that was, didn't exactly go to plan necessarily. A lot of people asking, okay, who is this substitute? Who do Seattle actually want to get into their team? And people are speculating whether it's, around Panda and Proto. We'll have a look at that in just a second. Octane kind of comes back jokingly and says, look, couldn't even make it 2 weeks, idiots. So yeah, definitely tongue-in-cheek. But we've seen some other pro teams try out these substitutes already. So Toronto Ultra back to playing musical chairs, right, to their team. They've, Classic was removed off the squad at the end of last season, but you've got Methods, you've got Bance, you've got Cammy, and you've got Kleenex on that squad, and they've got Insight as their substitute player, and pretty much I think they've been running Insight in place of everyone, just seeing how it works on the team, especially given Insight's typically a main assault rifle. Most of the maps on this game, favor assault rifle play, honestly kind of looks pretty good for them in that sense, and they're just trying people out and they're swapping one guy out for another. And of course, like, if you're Seattle right now, like, who are you swapping out for a substitute if you are going to just try one out? And this could be anyone, right? This could be a Challengers player playing on this account that they're thinking maybe might work. Of course, last season, the substitutes on Seattle Surge were Panda and Proto. Didn't necessarily go to plan, but as, Crone says, could just be busy, could have been technical issues, could have been trying out a substitute they are trying to sign, could be anything. Seems to me that if they're, have got an account actually called this, seems like there's something else going on. And as they were discussing when they played him on stream, like, Panda is weak on the head. He kind of, not hinting like they would actually know, probably just saying that because Seattle sub, it was Panda last season. That's like what they're calling out to make it easier for them to make that communication if you're Los Angeles Thieves. But whoever this substitute potentially is, whether it is Panda or whether it is Proto, whoever it might happen to be, it's clearly that Octane is never stepping out of the team. There's no doubt about that. And it's interesting to me that Looney and Pristini are the ones that are sitting there, right? And Gunless is, not on this squad. Because, so whoever this substitute is, whether it's Panda, whether it's Proto, whether it's someone else, doesn't really matter. It's just interesting to see the, so whoever this substitute happens to be, whether it's Panda, whether it's Proto, whether it's someone else, it's interesting to see how this team is exactly being formed, because Octane is never going anywhere. He is always going to be your main assault rifle, but Gunless has quite often been able to use the assault rifle, like, he's kind of like that in hand at times, especially, when he was able to, for example, in their World War II days. And right now, the way the meta goes, like, Looney has been looking pretty good on this game. Pristini, I suppose, is going to be your primary SMG, using the SMG on majority of maps. Looney using the AR when it makes most sense for him to do so. So interesting that it would be Gunless to be the one that steps out in terms of, in favor of a substitute player, if they have deliberately decided that, okay, Gunless is the one that makes the most sense if we did have to make a substitute swap at any point in the season. So, maybe I'm looking into this too much, of course, but with the meta as it stands right now, pretty interesting to see that if I was, picking up a substitute player for this team, I'd probably try to be getting an SMG, right? Because that seems to be where the weaknesses, if anything, lie on this team. In that Pristini Looney SMG line has always been the question compared to some of the other ones that some of them, the really high level teams in theory have for this upcoming season. Octane and Gunless in theory was, a fantastic AR flex combination. In this game, it may just end up as like a 2AR type of meta type situation. So maybe they're trying out some other things, but seemed to me that if you want to bring in a substitute, it's probably not going to be to replace Gunless, and the fact that maybe they are doing that might hint towards, maybe they're considering the chemistry issues could be on the horizon. Who really knows? Just to finish off with another spicy bit of drama here. So Brian Saint says Doug, after winning a single scrim map on host against a quad West Coast team because they told him they'd consider him a substitute. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this clip. The who do you think you are? I am legendary moment here. And this is what comes out of result. So Center says 5th time playing Hardpoint, love the improvements. So he comes out with this. He dropped 38 in 19, just smoking people. This is the Los Angeles Guerrillas substitute team, the Academy squad with Chino, Exceed, Nero, Poison, and Mental on the team. And he comes out with the following of the at Alex Rubens, one of these guys over at over at the Los Angeles Guerrillas. And Saint comes back at Exceed in this one, and then Exceed comes back. We're quad host on an East Coast host. Doug is still a burger though, so saying that this is just all host. The fact that Doug was winning this, then comes out with this from later in the series or earlier in the series or whatever, when Doug's team gets beaten in this one, but it's still topping the scoreboard. Doug, the OBJ king. Intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really helps out the YouTube algorithm know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Stay on mission.
Nice.
One was to your left too, somewhere. Probably behind that. Nice, one.
They're down to 1. Finish this.
He's in the room to your
Hey,
left.
to your left somewhere. That
He's
room.
rapping.
Oh, good shot.
No way.
Damn,
He was
bro.
so shot.
All teams.
Try,
Oh my
bro.
god.
Almost peeled him off this.
Oh my god, he was so.
Wow, look at his
One
health.
bullet, bro.